guys, this is Laurel of the Dabbling Hook, and it's cold. It's very cold. Mother Nature tricked us the last couple of weeks where we've had pretty mild weather, but it just plummeted and it was so cold yesterday. I went to get gas, and by the time I was done, my fingers were literally hurting. So it's cold. And I did my grocery shopping again yesterday, Friday. I usually do it Saturdays or Sundays, just so I wouldn't have to leave the house. So I slept in, and now I don't know what to do with myself because I don't know where to start because there's so much to do. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Welcome to all the new subscribers. I had a little bit of an influx, and I am positive it was all due to Miss Allie of Little Drops of Wonderful. So thank you for that, and thank you for everyone who came over after watching her video. I will talk about that in a little bit. What are we talking about? I got a couple of Happy Mail packages and just a few FOs and a couple of ongoing whips. Not much. I feel like I haven't done a lot. I feel like I've been busy, but I haven't done a lot this week. I don't know. It's just one of those weeks. Anyway, I'm going to make a concerted effort to look at the camera. I even have a little piece of paper that says, look here, instead of at myself. So let's see how that goes. All right. It is a sunny day out, but there's a good bit of a breeze, and it's definitely cold. When Minion 2 says it's cold, it's cold. Even though I'm always cold, but it's cold out. And I've said that probably about a dozen times already, right? So let's move on. Whips. So my goal, and I have hang on. I don't have a good setup where everything is just within reach. I should have gone back on the floor where I could have just grabbed things, but I have this tentacle type object here because I am finally putting together the squares for thought I saw a hole. The 2019 Stash Busting Cal that I completely failed at, which is again why I shouldn't why I shouldn't join Cals, because I either never finish, or usually, unless it's amigurumi, of course, or I just get busy towards the end of the year. At least not join any year-long Cals, because the end of the year, once fall hits, just goes out the window. But anyway, I'm going to try to stand up and see where I am. I have fully added 12 of the squares, the first 12 squares, and last night I started adding the other 6. I have them added on one side, and now I'm doing the complete join. I'll show you in a minute. So we have two rows completely done, and then these are hanging. The first 2 are completely done, and then the rest just needs to have their sides added on. So that is quite cumbersome to deal with, and it's going to be awesome. I'm contemplating, it was meant to be for me because it's of my favorite yarn that's now discontinued, Big Twist Premium. A big boo to Joanne for discontinuing a good yarn. But I may give it to my mom because I had planned a blanket for her, which was another crochet along, which, just looking at the blanket, it was gorgeous. It was the Havana blanket, or the Havana Afghan. And I got all the colors from AC Moore, again, which is no longer, or will be no longer soon. And I never got around to it. And it's very, I think that blanket would literally take me 2 years because it's all single crochet, it's mosaic-like, and I don't know what I was thinking. So I may give that to my mom. we'll see once it's finished, because, you know, I kind of don't want to have to part with it. Okay, so yeah, I have 6 more to join on one side and then fully finish, but right now I have 4 to finish adding the sides to where it's connected. Anyway, I have a ways to go. It's going to be probably another week before. Yeah. Anyway, what else? The other. What was I working on? Hang on. Just Feel Festive. It is, I mean, I'm watching everyone finish theirs, and it is just taking me forever, and the only thing I can think is it's the sport weight yarn. It's just killing me and taking forever. But last time I'd shown I'd added some pink, and I've only added a few more rows to it. So yeah, I'm on my second skein of this one from Knit Picks. I have one more of that pink, and then I just realized I thought I had added all the green from Knit Picks, and I have another skein there. We'll see. So yeah, and initially this was going to be my no hurry project, just take with me where I go, but now I really want it done. So all right, so those are my active whips right now. The other thing was the winner for the books, the Knit Picks knitting books, and I just realized I completely forgot to do the drawing, so I will be back. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes, but it's just a blip for you guys. Anyway, while I was gone, I warmed up my tea, and you're gonna hear whining life noises. Minion 2 this time. He's having a mango, and he didn't wait for it to ripen a bit, so he's experiencing the firmness of a not ripe mango. But as I was saying, warmed up my tea, and I added some Merlot to it. So for you guys who are new here, and Allie, I think she was watching one of my episodes where I mentioned my wine tea, I think she called it. I like to put some wine in things. Tea. My favorite is cranberry juice, either warmed up or cold. Not hot cranberry juice, not boiling hot, but you warm it up and you add some of your favorite wine. I prefer Merlot. It also works well with your tea, so yep. Now this tea is the second pass tea. I make my first cup of tea, and then I use the same tea bag. I just add hot water to it, and I keep going until you mainly taste water. So, can you hear him? Guess he's not enjoying the not ripe mango. But wine tea, Allie, in your honor. All right, where was I? The books. Hang on. Something's gonna fall. Oh, yep, it did. Oops. So, the new owner of the books is, I'll put that on the screen. So, I had to silently record it because there was a lot of noise going on. So, Adriana Lipsky, my email, all my contact information will be down below. Send me an email with where you want this mailed off, and I will have that out to you. So, thank you all who participated. All right, where was I? I don't know where my notes. Hang on. Notes. All right, so Just Feel Festive. It's still a work in progress. And it will be by the way things are going with it. Finished objects. So where did I put them? I was going to go sit on the floor, and then I changed my mind, so I had to find a room for everything else. Don't fall. Okay. So last time I showed, or I done the little tutorial on the headband. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the flowers. I have since added them on. So I think they look nice that way. So I may end up doing a few of these, more for craft fair prepping. It will be a good way to use up those oddballs that you don't know what to do with and not enough for a big project. So the other thing I am working on is notes. I think he's purposely being loud. Where did I put it? And also showed I was working on my first pass at HELIX, and I think I've heard somebody else call it helico knitting. And so I finished it. Quite happy with it. The only thing is I couldn't figure out on my own how to decrease, keeping with the stripes, and I'm sure it's easy enough, it just wasn't clicking, so I just ended with the solid color, so you could see where I stopped right here. But I'm quite pleased with it. The only place you see the jog is at the very beginning, and then I'm sure you probably won't notice it at the end once I've just figured out how to keep doing the decrease in the stripe. So that's done, and I am quite pleased with it. All right, next. So my cousin, she was going way back and stuff I posted on Facebook, and she pulled up a picture like from 2013, and it was of a, if I can find the picture I'll put it in here, of a ooh, just realized I have a couple of ends to weave in still. I thought I'd gotten them all. Of a hat. It was a granny stitch hat, and I'm pretty sure there was something different with the top, but I can't find the pattern again. It was a while back. I'd had the pattern for a while, and then I did it in 2013, and I can't find it for the life of me. I think I may have deleted it out of my library without actually uploading a project. I don't remember, but I decided to do it again. Figuring it's just a granny stitch hat, but for some reason I was using number 5 bulky yarn, and it just, the size just seemed to be too big, and I'm sure it had to do with the hook size. I was using the wrong hook size, but either way, I just made it work for me, and I made a couple of them. So this is in, what was that? I don't think I saved the wrapper. I think it was Red Heart Essentials. Yes, it was Red Heart Essentials. It's a number 5 weight yarn. So I made this one, and then this was in the solid, I forget what the color name was, but it's basically a lilac color, and it was purple haze or something. It just didn't go with the name. And then I also had a variegated one with that. So I did that, and then I was running out of the purple, so I just did this one in some Knit Picks Bravo Bulky, 2 different colors. This is looking more red tone on camera, but it's a darker color than this. This is almost true to color, maybe just a tad brighter, but this one is definitely off on camera. So I finished it with this purple that I had left. And then so I think I didn't finish what I was starting to say. My cousin wanted the hat, and she wanted it in purple tones, and I never have enough of one color in my stash. There's a podcast. Her name is, oh my god, I can't believe I'm blanking. But the name of her podcast is Never Quite Enough Yarn, and you're probably going to hear the heater going on. Like I said, it's cold. Never Quite Enough Yarn. Her name is like at the tip of my brain and I can't think of it. I can just hear her voice. But anyway, sometimes I think that should have been my name because I've bought yarn in the past just because that one skein is pretty, like we all do, and I never have enough to make one big project, so I always have to dip here and there. So anyway, so what I had left of variegated yarn, I did this, and then I ran out. So I just finished it in that Knit Picks Brava bulky. This Red Heart yarn is more like, think of Karen Simply Soft but chunky. And then this is just your Brava regular acrylic. Both soft, they go together. She actually liked the picture of this one. But this is more fitted, which is what she saw on the mannequin in the photo. So I have to take a picture of these on the mannequin head so she can have a better idea of what it's like. Let's see. And then the first one I did, I had first gone into my stash to find purples, and this was the first one I found. And this was a tweed lion, no, I forget what the name of it is, and I threw the wrapper away. If I find it, I'll write it on screen. And I have to pause because Mom's calling. Okay, as I was saying, yeah, I think it's a Lion brand. Is it tweed? What's the name? I can't remember. But again, it was just coming out the wrong size. It just looked way too big. So I think I'm actually going to pull this one back and probably going to try again because this is the last skein I have of this and I want to get rid of it. So I'll be getting rid of that. But while I was on the phone with Mom, I looked over and I forgot. I was doing a little Marie Kondoing of my closet last week and pulled out stuff I hadn't worn forever and got rid of it. But in there, I found an old hood that I had made. God, it's got to be a good, what year is this? Yeah, it's got to be a good 7, 8 years it's been there. At the least 5 years it's been sitting there. But I had a bunch of Bernat roving in different colors, and again, I'm almost 100% sure I got it on clearance somewhere, you know. But I made this hood with a scarf that was way too big. I think I wore it like once and then I kind of parked it. So it's the traditional hood with the long scarf, which is not a preference of mine. So the scarf is pretty long and it's in pretty decent shape still. I want to say I may have washed it once, but I do not recall. But I am planning on, yeah, there wasn't, like I said, never quite enough yarn. Back here's cream, then this green, this pea green, I guess, and then a darker green in here. And the scarf is, the whole thing is made in, nope, the hood I had made in the shell stitch. It was 5 double crochet shell stitch hood, and then I had I did a, how did I attach that? The scarf is in the sedge stitch, which is the single half double crochet, and then when you turn, you do that all in the single crochet, turn again, do them all in the single crochet. And I do not recall, I can't tell how I joined it before, but I gotta figure it out because I'm gonna rip it out and reclaim the yarn and do something with it, but because it's just been sitting there. So anyway, that was a distraction. What else did I do? So those were the hats. The other things that I did, I don't do, oops, pardon me, I don't do Valentines really, but I figured it would be a good way just to add a little bit, you know, of it too. The octo. So you can find a heart graph anywhere, or just look for pixeled heart graph and you can convert it to crochet. So I did it normally, and then, which is funny, I watched a video about 3-4 months ago on the what's it called? It's the crossed single crochet, or it's called the yarn under single crochet. I think I saw a couple other names, and it's almost like it felt like someone was reading my mind. All of a sudden, there are a bunch of people doing video tutorials on that. Now, I've noticed for a long time that amigurumi, European amigurumi makers tend to, I always thought it was inside out. They turn it inside out, but they're really doing a cross single crochet, and I've always like zoomed in trying to figure out why does it look different than when we do a single crochet. And I've always wondered about that. And a couple of months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, I searched YouTube, and I don't remember what I looked up, but then I found I think it was like a Russian video doing that. And then all of a sudden now, I think, not Blossom, Nikki's Handmade has done one, Hectanuka has done one, and somebody else just did one too of the cross single crochet. So it's funny how things cycle. But anyway, I decided, all that to say, I decided to try it here. And what you do get a tighter, stitch. And I think Valerie of Old Soul Crochet, when she first started doing her, especially for the, what was it, the Chubby Bunny, her stitches seemed really tight, whereas everybody else who used the size hook that she did was looser. And it's because I mentioned to her, I think it's because she's doing the yarn under opposed to the yarn over, and she's since changed her technique to do the regular yarn over, which I didn't think there was anything wrong. And I said to her, there was nothing wrong with the way she's doing it, it's just people do it differently. Come to think of it, the first person I saw crocheting like that was Sabrina's son, another OG crochet YouTuber. She always, and I always was fascinated by that. I'm like, the way, I even tried it, and it's very difficult too. When you're used to doing yarn over, to doing the yarn over and pulling the yarn in, it's very difficult. And again, muscle memory will get you there, but when you're just so used to years of doing a yarn over, it's hard to switch over. So that's what I did here, and it's definitely a tighter stitch than that. And plus, what gave it a little more structure too is you are crocheting over the yarn that you're carrying, so it makes it a little tighter, but it's definitely different. Yarn under single crochet. I like the look of it, it's just my hand doesn't like the motion of it. So yeah, that. And then I decided I wanted to have something pink, but not just your syrupy pink. So I did that one. And this is some Red Heart, excuse me, I think Pink Panther Pink, I think is that one. And I love that it's got the black and other colors in there. So now the thing with one, when I do color changes, my tension's terrible. Like, it's really terrible. I instinctively tighten things when I shouldn't, or tighten more than I should. But where was I going with that? When I do the graphs, because you're not going back and forth, when you're going back and forth, it comes out a little more even. But when you're going in the round, things, obviously, because you're not stacked directly over the stitch, it's always off a little. Everything skews off to the left or the right, or whichever direction it is. Half double crochet is like a big, what's the word? I'm hearing birds. I hope it's birds and not crickets. That would drive me nuts. You know, me and crickets. Anyway, sorry, that was a big digression. When you're doing it in the round, it doesn't line up the way, it's just maybe a little OCD in me, I don't know, it doesn't line up. So I think it looks pretty proportionate, but that's because I went back after, I threaded a string, and I went back after and kind of filled in any gaps and smoothed out the edges to that. Otherwise, I didn't like it. Here, I tried or I did the linen, no, not linen, is it linen stitch? No, the waistcoat stitch, or the center. I learned it as the center single crochet way back when, but it's now called a waistcoat stitch, where you're crocheting in the middle of the single crochet rather just in the top loop. So whenever I do stuff like that, I tend to go with this one. It makes it snugger, definitely tighter and more structured, but I use that, and you can see where it kind of angles a little, even though I did try to clean the edges up a little, but I kind of like that. So yeah, these are my contribution to Valentine's. And that slouchy hat that I did, I was trying to redo what I did for this hat. This was done on the fly ages ago, and I was trying to redo it, and I definitely, this is 100% wool yarn, and it definitely worked up differently than that. Plus, I couldn't remember what I did for the brim, and I think this is definitely a single crochet brim, whereas for that one that I just showed, I did a slip stitch, which makes the brim come in a whole lot more, and it tends to make the top of the hat looks kind of like a cupcake. So I'm going to redo, I may, when I unravel this, I may try it again and do it that way, but with the single crochet brim. And I thought this was going to be quick. Holy cow. Okay, so I think that is all for my makes and my quick, one second. My quick happy mail. So last time I said I had another amigurumi that that was delivered, but she was going to talk about it first, and that she is Allie of Little Drops of Wonderful. So on her podcast, she often shows a neighbor cat that comes in, and I didn't realize it was a girl, like that escaped me, but it wasn't her cat. It's not their cat. And the cat used to come in, I guess, through a little pet door that was still on the door, or cry at the door until they let her in. But she would always say, "You're not my cat, you don't live here." And I don't know why, that just tickled me. And in one of my cleaning attempts, I found this yarn that I'm like, oh, it reminded me of the cat. And I'm like, oh, I can make her a cat, so she'll have a cat that's her cat that lives there. Of course, I thought of that in the fall during craft fair season. So that, I put it all in a bag so I'd have everything I need, and it promptly got buried with everything else. So pulled it out again, and I did it last month, and I sent it off, and she has it, and she sent me some pictures, and I forgot to ask permission, so I'm not going to show, of her girls, Phoebe and Lilia. I also showed, I will put a picture of the Emineko that I sent to her of the cat, which is now their cat that lives there. And I included a couple of octos for the girls. So she sent me some pictures of them receiving it, and they were mini versions of this one. And one had a flower, and, ooh, light just changed terribly. Ooh. One had a flower and one had a bow, so they can differentiate. And the yarn I used was AC Moore. Yes, but there were two shades. You may or may not be able to tell, but these are two different yarn colors. There's a lighter one and more of, this one has more of a green, so I did the opposite for them. One with the green, one with the more blue, and then blue and more green. Anyway, I feel like I'm babbling today, and I still can't look at the camera. So, she sent me a little thank you gift, which she totally didn't need to. And she said she was sending me one of her pins. Have you guys bought her pin? She has a pin, I think she has a couple now, but her first pin, it's "You are a little drop of wonderful." Is that showing up? I hope it's focusing. Let's see how close it will go. Of course it never focuses when you want it to. But anyway, this is her pin, and she's got her info on the back, and it says it's all made with recycled or recyclable paper. So kudos for that. And then I saw these and totally reminded me of Minion 1 because once upon a time he was into origami. And let me tell you, we had paper everywhere. He went through reams and reams of paper. So she sent me these. So now I can stick these on my pegboard up there, or my bulletin board up there. And then she also sent me a little postcard of Kent, where she's from. Although she said it doesn't show the area that she's from, but I got a little postcard. So that'll be going up there. I also have a cute little box that I bought, you know, like the storage boxes you find at Michael's or Joann's. The little decorative ones. So I put all the cards and stuff I've gotten from other subscribers and YouTubers in there and rustling. So she sent me some candy, which I thought for sure Minion 2 would like these, but he did not. And I'm thinking it's because at the time he was full. I'm sure he'll come back around. But they've all been opened and sampled. He opened every one of them to sample. So this is Dolly Mixtures by Sainsbury. I would say Sainsbury, but Sainsbury. I have a cousin who used to live in England. She's the brother of the cousin who just left, who's here. And actually, I gave it to him to save on postage and to get to her quicker. I gave it to him to mail to her when he went back, which just worked out perfectly. But when she used to live in England, she came here and she would say strawberry, a library, and we'd have these little arguments. It's not strawberry, it's strawberry. Anyway, sorry, digression again. So I got that, and they're gummy candies, or no, not gummy candies. They are, let's see, little candies that look like dots, and he loves those, so I'm surprised he didn't like that. I don't think he got one of those. Pardon me. And she sent me a lotion, which will go in my bag. Absolutely. Some tea. I was holding off trying that. And then this he definitely did not care for because it was not sugary sweet. Well, it's Livia's Nuggets. Raw chalk brownie. Chocolate covered little smidgy nuggets of heaven. And she sent it, and they were gluten and dairy free, and I appreciate the dairy free aspect, and so does my stomach. And the other one is cookie dough, and I'm surprised. I don't think he had this one. After he tried 2 and he didn't care for them, he kind of gave up on me, but like I said, he was full of something else, so that would account for it, because he doesn't pass up candy. So yeah, thank you very much, Allie. You didn't have to, but I do appreciate it greatly. And hopefully I put in a picture of Mr. Emineko. All right. The other Happy Mail I received was from Rose Likes Crochet. It's very naughty. She said she would send me a little something. And usually I get notification only when a package doesn't fit in the regular P.O. box. It fits in, they have to put it in a special side ones. And sometimes it's not that big a package, but the dimensions just don't fit in. They can't squish it. Well, this was not a little package. That is not a little package. A little something. Okay. We have Trader Joe's dark chocolate orange sticks. I tried one. I don't know how I feel about the orange in it. But Minion 2 hasn't seen it yet. Hold on. I need some wine tea. Needs to be warmed. She also sent candy, which I know he will eat. Some jelly beans. Jelly bean hearts from Trader Joe's. And chocolate, which I am... hot chocolate. Sipping chocolate, which I am looking forward to trying because it says it may contain just, what does it say? Trace of milk. So hopefully it's not bad that it will disrupt my stomach. But I will give that a try later. And then it's like she sent me a whole box of Valentine's colors. And although I am totally, oh, you know what? I knew there was a card. Look for the card, dum-dum. I put it on the side and it slipped in and I didn't read it. Out of pink yarn. Dark chocolate since you're allergic to milk. Look at that. Everyone's remembered my lactose allergy. Thank you. I was out of pink. I am definitely not. Yeah, pink is not a staple in my oh, when I opened it at night it looked orange, but it's not. It's a flamingo. It's like an orangey pink. Yeah, it's bright on camera, but it's pretty much what it's supposed to be. There's that. These are all red hearts. Super Saver. Shocking Pink. This was a color that I didn't think I would like when I was doing my 2014 mood blanket. But I had to buy that a couple of times because I quite like that. And then Pretty in Pink. That was another one in the blanket too. And then Blossom, which is very much a soft pink, which is not in my wheelhouse. But I plan on, I almost have the urge to do another blanket, but it's going to be a join as you go, not a make the squares and join them later on. That's not happening again. But I may do a smaller join as you go blanket, because I did one of those for someone at work, a colleague at work who was having a baby. It was 2 years ago now. Wow, time's flying. And I did the I did a smaller of the Sunburst Granny Square. I did one of those for him. And this is Strawberry of Karen Simply Soft. I think I have that somewhere. Or maybe it's just a pink. But if I do, it's just one odd skein. And this is Blackberry. It's a lilac-y color. And then we have Hot Pink from Red Heart with Love. Yep. And, yes, there's more. She sent me 2 Bernat blanket stripes. Totally not something small. I think these are, wait, I didn't tell you what colorway it is, and I ripped the band when I was opening it. This is in the pink, and I think the other one's the same thing. It's just wound differently. Yep, so 2 of these. Rose. And last, yes, and there's more. This crazy woman. I have 2 Wool Ease Thick and Quick, and I'm surprised you gave up. It's got purple in there. Purple Martin. Yep. So, oops, I dropped one. I think there's definitely going to be a pink blanket. Me, I can't believe I'm even saying that, because I do not like making blankets, but it's calling to me, it's speaking to me, and you know, we have to listen to the yarn when they speak to us. Yeah, that and another one of the Lovies. I'm contemplating writing it up, but I don't know. Is it worth it, writing it up? I don't know. I have it semi-written up. I took notes, like chicken scratch notes, when I was working on it. Basically, you can use any granny square or any base pattern, and then it would just be for the arms and the head of what you want to do with it. But I don't know. I still have 2 patterns that I was working on that never saw the light of day. I don't know. But anyway, that's all way longer than it was supposed to go. Oh, hang on. So last time I showed in the background of the oil canvas, wax canvas, not oil canvas. So I cut out a piece, and I've changed my mind twice as to what I was going to do with it. I wanted to do a box bag, not a box bottom bag, but a box bag. And then I've changed my mind like twice now, and I was just going to make a little pouch next. But I don't know. But I've cut out a piece, and I'm going to test it to see how it sews up. And I don't even know if you can, it's thinner than I thought it would be. I think that's part of the hesitation. I expected it to be a little heavier or thicker, and I don't think you can interface it. So I don't know, because I can definitely see the lining cloth that I was going to use. I can definitely see it right through. So I don't know how that would work. I don't know. Too many wanna-dos. My big thing is to get that blanket, that 2019 stash blanket done. So on that note, I am amassing quite a mess now. I still have clean floors. Like, I can see floor. Everything is in its place for the most part. It's just things I am done. I just plop here and there. I need to find a home for. All right, I'm babbling. I'm gonna go warm up my wine tea. And Adriana, don't forget to email me, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.